Today we're going to be looking at comparing fractions by finding common denominators. So first of all, we're going to go over some vocabulary in the world of fractions. First off, we see fractions are parts of a whole. There's two parts of a fraction. There's the numerator, which is the number above the line in a common fraction showing how many of the parts indicated by the denominator are taken. An example of that would be the 2 in the 2/3 would be the numerator. The denominator is the number below the line in a common fraction, is also called a divisor, which in this example we would see here where 2 is the numerator, 3 is going to be your denominator. These are the TEKS that we'll be covering today: comparing fractions and finding common denominators. We're going to be covering TEK 4.3c, determine if two given fractions are equivalent using a variety of methods, and 4.3d, compare two fractions with different numerator and different denominators and represent the comparisons using symbols greater than, less than, or equal to. It won't drag for me. Okay, we can see that we here have two circles that are cut into 4 equal parts. While these circles are cut into 4 equal parts, we're going to go ahead and take our red pencil and we're going to shade in 2/4 of this circle. And then we're going to shade in 2/4 of this circle. While these fractions are equal, if we have 2/4 and 2/4 as fractions, they will be equal. The only problem is these fractions are not equal due to the fact that our wholes are not equal. This 1/4 of this pizza over here, or this 2/4 of this pizza here, is not equivalent to this 2/4 of this pizza here. I'm a fat guy. I love pizza. So I'm not going to be satisfied with these two small pieces here. I want the two larger pieces. So there we see that while fractions sometimes are the same, we need the same exact whole parts to have the same equivalent fraction. This is something we're going to be using to find our common denominators. It's called a T-chart. So what we're going to do is you're going to take your multiplication. Say if we have two fractions, which are going to be, we'll say 2/3 and 3/4, and we're trying to find out if they're equal than, less than, or greater, equal to, less than, or greater than. We're going to have to do our multiplication facts. So we're going to have to put 3/4, we're going to have to put 3 here for this one, and 4 here for this one, and we're going to do our facts. Zeros, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll stop at 5 because we don't think we're going to go past that. So we're going to go here. We got 6. So we got 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. And 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 3 times 5 is 15. And 4 times 5 is 20. And what we're looking for here when we're trying to find common denominators is we're looking for a match along this T-chart. And we see right here that we have a match with 12. So when we do our 2/3, and we're trying to find if it's equal than, less than, or greater than 3/4, we're going to take our thing here. And we know that we got 12 here. So we're going to have to take 2/3 and multiply by 4. We have to multiply each number to make sure that we have the same fraction come out on the other side. So we're going to find that 2/3 is equivalent to 8/12. We'll have to do the same thing here with 3/4. 3/4 times, we're going to get a 4, 3. So 3/4. So for 4, we're going to have to times 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. Each number has to be multiplied by the same. And we're going to come up with this one with 3/4 is actually 9/12. So now we have two fractions that have the same denominator. So we can now compare those. So now we know that since we have the same whole pizza, the same size, but this has 9 pieces of the same size pizza, where this one has 8 pieces of the same size pizza. So we know that 9/12 is actually greater than 8/12. So we would know that our 3/4 is greater than 2/3. Love using a smartboard. It works so well for us. That's our T-chart. That's how we use a T-chart when we're finding common denominators. So let's look at it on this one. Let's take an example and do together as a class. So here we see we have 2/3 and 6/8. We need to know which one's greater. So we have a 3 and an 8 that we're going to be working with at first. That's what we need on our T-chart. See right here we have 3 and 8. Okay? You can write your numbers out here if you want to, just to keep yourself in order. You don't have to, because we know when we're multiplying, we're just going to go in the line. So we have zeros, 3, 8, 6. Let's just go straight down. It works easier if you just go straight down. 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Okay? Let's do our 8s. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. Whoa, we got a match already. We had to go a long way on our 3s, so we actually have to, let's go ahead and do that. So now we have a match. We have two 24s on our T-chart. So we know when we find the common denominator of 8, we have to use the 3s. So we're going to multiply that by 3/3. Because you have to use the same number on the top and bottom. If you don't use the same number, your fraction's going to come out lopsided. And we know when we do our 3, so we have 2/3, we know we're going to have to multiply by 8. Let's come over here, multiply by 8s. Right? Okay, well let's go ahead and do this one here first. So 2/3 times 8/8, so we're doing the same number. It comes out to be 16/24. Okay? Let's go over here and work the other problem. 6 times 3 we see is 18. Oh, hold on, let's go ahead and let's actually do the math. 6/8 times 3/3. Okay? 6 times 3 is 18. 8 times 3 is 24. So we now know that this fraction actually, when we go to common denominators, is going to be 16/24 and 18/24. So then we're going to have to look at it and say, is 18/24 larger than 16/24? Now that we have the same exact wholes. And we see that 18/24 is actually bigger than 16/24. So we put a greater than sign here, saying that this fraction is greater, 6/8 is greater than 2/3. Okay, moving right along. Okay, here's your independent practice. We're going to work through two of these on the board. 2 of them you'll do on your own. Let's go with 1/3 and 2/6. We're going to make our T-chart. We have to work with our 3 and our 6. 0, 0, 3, 6, 9, 12. Let's just stop there for now. Alright, on the 6s we have, well, we got a match. We don't have to go any farther once we find our match for our T-chart. So we know that here is going to be for our 3s. So when we do our 3s, we're going to do 1/3 times, that was your 0s, that's your 1s, we're in our 2s. Okay? When we do our 6s, our 2/6, we're going to go 2 6 times, it's only in the ones place. So we only did that one time, so we're only multiplying times 1. So what do we know about this fraction? This fraction is going to come out to be the same. So we're still going to have 2 6 for this fraction. And on this fraction right here, we're going to do a multiplication. We got 3 and 2 is 6, and 1 times 2 is 2. So we actually found an equivalent fraction, even though these two wholes were different. We still have an equivalent fraction. So moving right along, here's your homework. This is going to be your homework. You're going to have to break down each fraction, find a common denominator, and tell me whether they're greater than, less than, or equal to. Okay? This will be your practice now, and what we don't finish you can write down and you'll take home for homework.